So a few of you have asked what my setup is. Setup means what tools do I have to get sound from here in my office to you, to your phones and computers. What hardware and software do I use to move sound over to you? And I thought, let me do a video showing you that. So we'll start with the things that produce sound. My voice, my accordions, acoustic instruments get amplified through a series of microphones. I have an overhead microphone for voice. It's the Deity S-Mic 2S, maybe? It's a microphone, and that's my main microphone. It picks up instruments. I also have two matched Rode M5 microphones. There's one here and there's one here. When I play accordion, these two go into two separate tracks, left and right, so that I could have different processing for right hand and left hand. All microphones are going into a mixer. This is a mixer with a few channels. Each channel is a different track, and each track can have its own volume. So what does that mean? If I'm amplifying my left hand of the accordion, maybe I want it to be quite loud. If I'm amplifying the right hand of the accordion with this microphone, it's going into a different channel on the mixer, and maybe I want to raise the mids and the high frequencies. So each channel, each microphone, each instrument can have its own volume and can have its own effects. Maybe I want some reverb for my right hand, but I don't want any reverb for my left hand. That's why each instrument in my studio goes into its own channel in the mixer, and that's over here. So channel 1 is microphone, channel 2 is just something that I can plug in, channel 3 is another microphone, channel 4 is empty, channel 5 is the keyboard, right? So if I play keyboard, I actually need to put on headphones to hear what I'm doing. Right, that's at a certain volume. I could play with a volume for my keyboard, but I could also have a bigger volume control along with other instruments through the mixer. Good. One of the main things that happens is, again, I'm producing sound that's being picked up by microphones. I'm producing sound. All that stuff is going into a mixer to balance the volume, and that's going out to my loop pedal. There's a big mess of cables on the ground, but this is, right now I'm using the Boss RC600. And what it lets me do is any sound that I'm producing, right now I'm speaking, I could record what I'm doing. Right now it's recording, and then I can stop it. I could record what I'm doing. Right now it's recording, and then I can stop it. I could record what I'm doing. Right now it's recording, and I can add another track. I could record what I'm doing. Right now it's recording, and I can add another track. Stop it. I could record what I'm... Right? So that's my loop pedal. And the thing that's going into the loop pedal is the mixer out. So all these sounds go into a mixer. The mixer goes into my loop pedal. See, there are just two cables in and out of my loop pedal. Mixer's going in, and that's going out to a sound interface before it enters my computer. So loop pedal's really, really powerful. It takes all the sounds from the mixer, and it can loop them and build on top of them. The looper also has some built-in effects, so I could trigger effects with my feet. That's really, really cool in the Boss RC600. Let me show you what that looks like. I've set up this loop pedal. Let me zoom in a little bit. I've set up this loop pedal to have multiple pages. So what I could do is I could have reverb, just like that. I could do that. It doesn't sound great on my voice, but it kind of lowers an octave, which is great for playing accordion. So I could have multiple effects triggered by my feet. And again, I could say, trigger this when I'm playing right-hand accordion, or trigger this big sound when I'm playing left hand of accordion, or I could trigger it off my keyboard. So that's a really cool thing that the Boss RC600 has that adds more, that makes it more than just a loop pedal. Out of the loop pedal, that goes into my audio interface. So before it enters the computer, the Boss RC600 can go right into the computer. It can act as an audio interface, meaning it has a USB out that can feed the signal into my computer. Great. Instead, though, I choose to go into another little interface there that's a mixer interface. So I do have some sources going into that mixer, so they bypass the loop pedal. And then that goes into the computer via USB. Good, that's all the hardware. That's all the hardware. Everything, and then it depends what I want to do. I record videos quickly a lot for students. I use OBS. It's a free broadcasting software. It's a free streaming software. That's what I use to do my live streams. But it's a really quick way of recording my camera. And it takes all the sources that I want to put in, mixers, screen captures, camera, audio, puts them all together into one track. And that's how I respond to students really quickly. It's able to broadcast, that's the B in OBS. It lets me broadcast to stream, and it takes all these sources and combines them into a shot that you're seeing now on your phones and on your computers. And that's what I use. If I'm recording a clean track without a bunch of other things, I'll use audio editing software where I can record multiple different tracks and then process them afterwards. I use Adobe Audition just because that's what I'm used to. I edit things in Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere. Again, just because that's what I'm used to. I'm not an expert in any of these things, but things have grown organically. I started off with a Boss RC1, a really simple loop pedal. I then went to the Boomerang 3-phase sampler, and then right now I'm using the Boss RC600, just because it's one pedal board and an audio interface in one. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.